And on the 8th day, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a caretaker. So God made a farmer.
Howdy folks, Darren here, Cross Timbers Farm. Welcome to 8th Day Chronicles. Glad to have you with us on this beautiful, gorgeous, stunningly beautiful October day. This is the day the Lord hath made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Man, what a pretty day. Breeze blowing, you may be able to see some leaves in the trees behind me kind of rustling. Just an absolutely beautiful day. It's about 10:30 a.m. We cut this test plot 5 days ago. It's taken 5 days to get it dried down. We have had super heavy dews of the mornings. Actually had some frost. The last 2 mornings we've had no frost, just heavy dews. And we've tedded this hay out, let's see, twice. The day we cut it, we tedded it that afternoon to get it out of the swaths and into the sun, spread out so the stomatal openings of our cool season grasses would stay open and not consume as much of the sugars and starches. So we retain more of that high sugar and starch levels for high quality premium hay. The volume on this test plot is minimal, and that's my fault. And the weather had a lot to do with it, but I still say it's my fault because when we saw that during the spring so much rain got our first cut pushed way forward. We planned to cut 1st of May. We ended up not being able to cut till the 1st of June, a month late. On the calendar, here's May and here's October. That was our schedules for cutting 4 cuts off this test plot. When that pushed that window for growth in between these cuts, it pushed it this way. And now into October, we've had an unexpected cold snap come in our area last week. Not here, but in the area, we had snow flurries. And we're needing to cut this hay for friends and people that lost hay during Hurricane Helene that are in need of hay. We're going to donate this hay. That cold front, here was the calendar, it already pushed it this way from a late start. Now the cold front's pushed it even closer. I should have realized when that first window closed some that I was not going to be able to get 4 cuts. I was going to be able to get 3. But I tried to schedule it for 4 cuts. That's on me. And this 4th cut's very minimal. It's high quality hay, but it's minimal. There was just not a lot of time for growth. This summer we have had ups and downs. It's been like a roller coaster. During the spring we had all that rain that postponed our first cutting till a month later. And then all through the summer we had super hot temperatures and dry spells that limited the growth of the hay at times. Then we would get some showers, then it would go back dry again. It just went a continual roller coaster. That's on me. When I saw all that happening, I should have realized we're probably not going to be able to get 4 cuts off this test plot, but I tried. And we do have 4 cuts off of it, but this last cut's minimal. It's going to produce very small bales and small amounts of bales. And bear in mind, quantity is not our goal on our farm. I've said that so many times. I know it sounds like a broke record, but quality is our goal, not quantity. But if your hay and you've worked at your hay fields until your hay is almost weed free, notice I said almost, in the southeast especially, I don't believe there's such a thing as weed-free hay. People that says they have weed-free hay, I would garner that I could take their bales and start sifting through it and come out with some weeds. But that's getting off topic. Quality's our goal, but if you've got the quality there and you've cut it at the right time for sugars and starches to be at their highest, and you've taken care of your soil and all that good stuff, and you've baled it at a proper moisture content and taken care of it, spread it out, keep your sugars and starches as high as they can be through the use of a tedder. Why would you not want as much quantity of that quality as you can get? That only makes good business sense. And I should have realized that this fourth cutting was going to be minimal. It would have probably been better. Hindsight's 20/20. Looking back on it, I should have just left this and not cut it for the fourth cut, and just left it long, a little long to go through winter, but it's cut. It's been tedded, it's spread out good. I didn't have to ted it much because it's so thin, just enough to get it out of those swaths that the drum mower leaves. So we have our Grizzly 4-wheel inline hay rake hooked up. It's already been leveled. The top link and the adjustable side link has been adjusted to where when we lower it to the ground, all 4 rake wheels are making about the same contact, the same amount of pressure on the ground. You don't want it digging in too deep to start raking up dirt and sod and ash content into your hay, but you don't want it so light that when it goes through raking you're just leaving hay. You want to get all of it you can. It's a fine line. Sometimes even when you have this rake adjusted to where you think is perfect and you start raking, sometimes you have to make adjustments on the fly. You realize after you've raked one round around the field that you're either digging in too deep, you can see some dust and sod kicking up, or you realize that, hey, those tine teeth are not making good enough contact to pull in all the hay. If you watch behind you, you can see what's going on. And this little test plot's small, 2/10 of an acre. We did not cut our test plot extension. It's only been cut one time this year for hay. That was the very first cutting. We realized we have a lot of work to do in that extension. The foxtail and some weeds was coming up too heavy in that extension area. This summer we have kept it mowed regularly, kept it clipped down to where nothing will go to seed head, and that's part of the process of getting the weeds out of it. We're working on it, so it's not being cut for hay this time, only this small 2/10 of an acre, and we can rake this really fast. So it's about 10:30 a.m. and we're going to give it just a little bit longer for this dew to burn off. We got nice sunshine. We're going to give it a little while with this breeze also to dry this dew off, and then we're going to get it raked into windrows. Our windrows are going to be pretty small. The amount of hay here is going to be small, but you got to look at it this way: the glass is always half full. God's good. What's here, there's not a lot of it, but what is here is going to be premium, top tier, top shelf hay. It's going to be horse quality supreme. So hardly no weeds. Orchard, Timothy, and tall fescue. It's going to be really good hay. Most of the red clover's gone for the year. From our third cutting, there's not much of it grew back for the fourth, so we ain't going to include that, but it's going to be loaded with the other good cool season grasses. Just not a lot of it. Fourth cutting off this test plot. Tender, soft, palatable, high quality horse hay. We're going to have some customers that need it, and we're going to supply this to them, whatever they are of it. When we finish raking here, we're going to head to the top 1/3 of our main hay field. We're going to rake that into windrows. There's a little more there, but still not a lot. And we're going to get both these areas baled today, hopefully, without any breakdowns or anything like that. You may remember in our third cutting on the test plot, our hay moisture meter broke. We super glued it and it worked for the third cut, then it broke again. You can see here's the tip that broke off. This plastic piece in between the two, there's where it went. You can see it broke completely off. This was the Agri-Tronics model with the cord, and it only registered to 14.5 as low as it would register. It would register the whole array of temperatures of your hay to see if anything's heating up too hot, but the moisture reading, it would only read down to 14.5, and I did not like that. However, this thing worked as advertised. It was good, but that plastic piece in between these two stainless pieces on the tip, this is opinion, poor design. It broke, and we have replaced it. This is a very important piece of hay equipment on a hay farm. We did replace it. The Agri-Tronics HT Pro hay moisture tester. This one is a one-piece design. Same tip style. I hope this one lasts better than the other one. These little things are not cheap. When you're talking about a small family farm and your farm budget, to keep replacing stuff like this is a no-go. If this one breaks, I'm going to mail both these back to Agri-Tronics and tell them they got a problem. But we're not going to jump to conclusions. This one may work just fine. I don't know how that other one broke. The tip of it broke. I have no idea. I'm sure somehow through using it, it just broke. It was not abused, I can tell you that much, but it broke. This one's the same design, except this is, in my opinion, a better moisture meter. This one will read down to 8% moisture, and it's one piece. So, here very soon, as soon as this hay gets dry enough, we're going to start raking. Least amount of hay I think we've ever got in a cutting off our test plot. It is what it is. It's going to make really high quality hay. This is day 5 of dry down, and you can see we've got a breeze. You can see my shirt blowing in the breeze. I'm a little concerned about the moisture content of this hay. After 5 days, when you pick it up and feel of it, I'm gonna bend over here. And there is some leaves in this hay, which I do not like. From Hurricane Helene, blew leaves into our hay in places that we never had to worry about leaves, even in the fall. There's nothing I can do about it. It would take many, many man hours to walk along and collect leaves out of the hay. There's another leaf. This hay is, let's do like a twist test. Let's do like a bicycle twist test. Okay, that took some effort to break, but you can just feel it. it still feels a little damp. After 5 days, I don't know. We're gonna head to the 1/3 of the hay field, the main hay field, and get that raked. And then we will come back here, and per our usual routine, we'll get the baler all hooked up, the baler pre-oiled, greased, all that good stuff ready to hit the ground running. We'll pull out here and we'll make 1 bale, and we'll test the moisture content and see what it says. The old timers way of the twist tests and all that stuff, I don't dismiss that. That is still a very viable option if you don't have an electronic hay moisture meter. But that hay moisture meter is crucial to premium hay. Regardless of what the twist test says, we're going to bale 1 bale, check the moisture. Of course, we like to do that anyway and just check the twine wrap and make sure everything's running smooth before we continue on. But we will, this time, specifically bale just 1 bale for that moisture meter reading to see what it's going to read, whether we continue or not. So let's head to the main hay field, rake that top 1/3 into windrows, and I hope the wind's not bad enough today to start blowing these windrows around. That's a little concerning. It's going to really help the dry dam, but I'm a little concerned it's going to start blowing our windrows around. All right, let's head that way. Everybody say hello to Murphy. This is a registered German short-hair pointer pup. She's about 5.5 months old. My son-in-law and daughter's dog. Gonna make a bird dog out of her. She's already got the instincts. She's a pretty thing. We're keeping her for a few days while they're out of town. Her and Oakley's enjoying playing. Oakley, for an old dog, still likes to play. What's the matter, pretty girl? She's very people oriented. Loves people. Just likes to stay right with you. Very curious about birds too. Okay, we're in the top 1/3 of our main hay field. Let's take a look at this hay. Really, it feels a little drier than the test plot. Still got a lot of color. Let's get enough here to do a twist test. Still a little bit damp from the morning dew. What's the matter, girl? You want this hay? We got a good bundle here. I don't know. This is day number 5. Some of it broke. Most of it didn't. All right, let's do that don't spring out too good. However, it finally went ahead and broke when I twisted it. We're gonna rake it in windrows. It's day 5. We'll do the same here as we did up there. We'll do 1 bale, test it for moisture. I got a feeling this may take 6 days. No way to know. We'll rake it. It'll dry okay at this point in a windrow, because we can come back in the morning and flip them tomorrow midday if we need to. But we're gonna go ahead and rake it in the windrows, see what we got. raking's done. More hay here in this top third than they are in the test plot. Naturally, it's more acreage, but still, this top third of our main hayfield has not produced like it did the first and second cut. And that goes back to that window of everything being pushed forward and in cold weather, squeezing everything in. But we'll get some decent hay off this. This is really high quality hay. And we'll get a fair amount of bales, not a lot, but every single bale we can make to deliver to some folks is worth it. So, Hurricane Helene has been devastating in our area, and farmers will look out after farmers, and communities look out after communities. Our communities around here, I can't even hardly start to begin to describe how all our communities has banded together and helped their neighbors. It's been awesome. I'll just leave it at that. It's been great without much outside help. Our volunteer firemen, all these small volunteer fire departments, y'all are awesome. All our law enforcement, our local law enforcement, the county sheriff, the deputies, and the local city police for our small towns, the small town police departments, our fire departments, and just everybody in the community. It's been awesome. So anyway, the hay is raked. I'm not a good raker. I do the best I can. Every passing hay season, it seems like I get a little better at raking, but it's still my least favorite part of the hay process. Probably because I'm not that good at it. My windrows are acceptable. And it's been a challenge learning how to rake smaller windrows for that mini round baler. However, when your hay's thin like this is, it's easier. You don't have to manage such big, tall, wide windrows that even moving that rake as narrow as it will go, you still end up with a big windrow. That's not been the case this time around. It was a little easier. The windrows are acceptable, so we're going to go and get the rake unhooked